Now let's talk about a very important question with a very important answer. The question is, am I creative? And the answer is a resounding yes, you are. And you can learn to further develop those abilities. One of the things that I have learned as a meditation and transformational coach is that creativity is part of the human experience. In fact, creativity is a birthright of being human. Creativity is within everyone. I firmly believe that there is an artist in each of us, but what is really interesting is that most of us have allowed this amazing ability within us to atrophy through lack of use. It not only invokes both the artistic but also the analytical. It takes creativity to not only create music, but to develop the technology and devices to play it. Can we conclude that anyone anywhere can be creative? The answer is yes, absolutely. Much like the tools we use to create, creative thinkers come in all forms. It's not just a trait you are born with. Early on in our lives, we are encouraged and even taught to explore, ask questions, and be curious. We are pushed to discover more about our immediate environment and the world around us. Of course, some people are more inquisitive than others, but the point is that initially we all have the capacity to stretch our curiosity. I promise you that when you were 5 years old, you were hugely creative and imaginative. But if you are like most people, as you went through school and then later work, you stopped accessing those abilities. Do you want to hear something fascinating? Listen to this. Have you ever heard of George Land? He was a scientist and author who studied the enhancement of creative performance, and he devised a methodology for NASA to help select innovative engineers and scientists. The assessment worked so well, he decided to try it on children. In 1968, George Land and Beth Jarman conducted a research study to test the creativity of 1,600 children ranging in ages from 3 to 5 years old who were enrolled in a Head Start program. The results were so astounding, they decided to do a longitudinal study and then retested the same children at 10 years of age and again at 15 years of age. These results blow my mind. 98% of the 5-year-olds tested at a creative genius level, 98%. Just 5 years later, at 10 years old, that percentage dropped to 30%. 5 years after that, at 15 years old, the percentage dropped to 12%. And the same test was given to adults who averaged 31 years old. What would you guess the percentage was that scored at a genius level? Only 2%. What we have concluded, wrote George Land, is that the non-creative behavior is learned. The way we are taught, the way we are educated in a traditional school fosters this loss in creative ability because most teaching methods encourage us to both generate and judge ideas in the same process. Most schools don't separate out these two very different types of thinking processes. According to Land and many more recent neuroscientists, there are two types of thinking processes when it comes to creativity. Convergent thinking, where you judge ideas, criticize them, refine them, combine them, improve them, all of which happen in your conscious thought. And divergent thinking, where you imagine new ideas, original ones which are different from what has come before, but which might be rough to start with and which often happen subconsciously. He noted that throughout school we are teaching children to try and use both kinds of thinking at the same time. When this happens, the judgmental and critical part of our brain kills off the new original ideas before they have even had a chance to be fleshed out. As we learn to excel at convergent thinking, or the ability to focus and hone our thoughts, we squash or suppress our instinct for divergent or generative thought. The 5-year-old in us never goes away, though, and we can reclaim some of that creative genius we had. But for right now, let's dive into another important foundational lesson and understand why cultivating creativity is so important.